Well, hello everyone. We'll start with our confession of faith. I will receive the word. I will believe the word. I will speak the word. And we will live the word. Okay, so I am very nervous. I do not know why, but this is extremely cool because this is my first time speaking to anyone publicly as an MSW, so that's really cool. I'm so proud of that. I'm just going to be sharing a little bit about knowledge and understanding and what God wants to do with the knowledge and understanding that He has given us. I recently graduated with my master's in social work from Cal State University, Long Beach, where I also completed my Bachelor of Arts in social work. And it's been really interesting graduating with my graduate degree because already people are like, so are you going to get your license? Are you going to? And it's like, well, I just want to appreciate what I have now, you know? And so I think a lot of times it's important to be, it is important to be goal-oriented, but sometimes we need to just bask in where we are, what we have accomplished up until this point. And I've had a lot of conversations with my mom about this because I'm like, do I need to be looking into getting my license already, or should I just relax and find a job? And I really do find this to be true amongst my peers. I have a good friend who graduated with his bachelor's, and he's like, people are already like, when are you going to grad school? And for him, it's like, can't y'all just appreciate my bachelor's? And society is already saying, you know, the bachelor's is equivalent to a high school diploma, so you have to get your master's. And the reality is that that's not true. It's not true. And so I think that with these expectations that we put on ourselves and that others put on us, we can be really focused on the next season, and we're not even prepared yet. We're so geared to, some of us are going to middle school, we're starting off as 6th graders, and we already want to be 8th graders because we know 8th graders are cool. Or we're going to high school and we're like, dang, I got to be a freshman and I already want to be a senior year because there's prom, there's winter formal, there's grad night. And so there's all these things that we're like, I just wish that I could be there already. For me, I'm like, I wish I could just move out. I wish I could just be married. A lot of us are just wishing on promotions. And it's like, while that's great and you want to aspire to do things, we need to really understand where God has us at now and appreciate the God-given knowledge and understanding that He's given us. And so one way to do that is to look at Daniel and his friends. And the scripture that I'm going to kind of be with today is Daniel 1. It's 1, verses 17. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry. And it says, as for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill in learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. And so they didn't just have knowledge and wisdom and skill. God gave it to them. And that's important to remember because as I was studying throughout the week, I realized that in looking at some of the Hebrew origins of these words, there's a natural sense of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And then there's a very spiritual, God-given sense of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So if we're looking at natural wisdom, we're talking about technical skill, special abilities, even being cunning or witty. Just some people are shrewd because they have earthly wisdom. And, you know, sometimes we just gain wisdom from experience. Other forms of natural knowledge can be observation. You know something because you saw it. You didn't really know it because God told it to you. You just saw it, and now that's what you know. You know it from your senses. If you touch something or you smelled something, you know that that's pizza because you know what pizza smells like. You can know something by the way that you feel it or even perceive it. And a natural sense of understanding can be being able to mentally separate things, being considerate, and also being cunning, having a natural intelligence or even an eloquence. Those are some of the natural forms of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But if we're looking at God-given wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, sorry, I'm just trying to look at my time. Oops. Sorry. I'm really sorry. If we're talking about God-given wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, God-given wisdom helps us to make choices in really hard times. God-given wisdom helps us to be mature and develop appropriately. We're able to fear God. We're able to really do what we need to do in tough times. The knowledge that God gives us, I am really sorry that threw me off. It means that he's revealed himself to us. When we know God, we've had a very intimate experience with him, and it's not just, nobody has seen God in here that I know of. So it's not like you know him because you saw him or you felt him, or we didn't touch Jesus's garment. We know him because we've had an intimate experience with him. We fear him, we serve him, and he's proved to us that we can trust him. That's how we know God. And so we also have God-given understanding because we're able to deal wisely. And so all of these things are really cool to me because if you look at Proverbs, which is very like wisdom-oriented literature, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding always go together. In Proverbs 1 verses 5 or 2 verses 6, it doesn't just say wisdom. It usually talks about wisdom and understanding or wisdom and knowledge. So they're kind of always, those three or two are always together. And so I really want to look at how Daniel and his friends took the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that God gave them and really applied it practically. So in Daniel 3, verses 7 through 18, most of us, I won't say all, but most of us know the story of them having to bow before the king and his idol, and his friends are like, nope, we're not doing it. And the king is like, whoever doesn't bow before my idol, you're going to get thrown into this furnace, and that's just going to be it. Daniel's friends were like, we're not doing that. And so in verse 17 through 18, they said, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known to thee, O king, that we will not serve your gods, nor worship the golden image which you have set up. Now, some of us get around our principal or our boss or our teacher or our professor when they tell us to do something that we know that we're not supposed to do or is in direct conflict with our core values. We might just like, okay, I'm gonna just, for the sake of my grade or for the sake of being written up at work. And when you do that, like in our end time skit last week, it could cost you your life. It could cost you an eternity. It can cost you your entire salvation. It can cost you lifelong consequences, and it's really important not to do that. And so I believe that had God not given them wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, they would have easily been like, okay, we'll just bow down to your God so that we don't have to be thrown in here. Like, whatever you say, we'll just do it. And so I think when we rely on our own wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, we might kind of just say, okay, I'll do it. But when we know that God has given us something and we know God personally and we know that we can trust him and we can serve him with our lives, we're not going to easily make these just random or decisions or crack under pressure. And even in the first chapter of Daniel, one of Daniel's superiors said, if you don't eat the diet that the king is telling you to eat, this is going to be my head. Like, not only are you going to get in trouble, but I'm supposed to be supervising you, and now you're going to tell me you're not going to eat this diet. It's going to be you and me in trouble. And so a lot of times we make decisions that other people's livelihoods are at stake, or other people's, situations can be at risk because of us. And having that pressure on us, it's easy to say, okay, well, I'll just do what everyone wants me to do. I'll just kind of, And so when we know and understand God, it's easy for us to make mature, sound decisions. It's easy for us to deal wisely. It's easy for us to think back on the opportunities that he's given us and, shown himself to be strong. So kind of in going back to society rushing us, or even our peers rushing us to get a master's or being promoted. How long have you been working at your job? Isn't it time for you to be promoted? How come your business hasn't, you've been a business for 5 years. How come it's not already taken off, you know? And so people tell us these things, and it's really important to bask in where we are now. And if we are so wrapped up in the next season or just getting there or wishing, we're gonna miss out on what God has for us now to know, and for the wisdom that he has for us now. And the reality is, if you're just wishing and hoping all day, when you finally get that promotion, you're not even gonna know what to do with it. If you just skip to the 8th grade or you skip to being a senior, you're not gonna be college ready. You're not gonna be prepared to go to high school. You're not even gonna be prepared to go to middle school. You're not gonna be prepared to supervise anybody, because you were so fixed on the next stage that you didn't take the time to appreciate, one, where you were, and two, what God had to give you, what understanding that God wanted you to find out, and what ways that God wanted you to serve him during that time. And so I believe that when we do that, we're able to make sound decisions. We're able to make decisions confidently when we know that other people's livelihoods, their incomes, their family are really contingent upon us. And so in closing, I would really just encourage all of us to get to this place of surrenderance, where we're not so fixed on our promotion, fixed on getting to the 12th grade, fixed to being a supervisor, fixed to me being married. I'm like, when, God? When? It's already been 3 years. When can I move out? When can I, do these things? It's been so hard for me, because this week was like wishing and hoping and being so focused on that stage of my life that God's like, Imahny, you cannot be anybody's wife and you don't understand. You're not even appreciating what I've given you right now, the knowledge that I need you to attain right now, the wisdom that I need you to attain right now, the understanding that you need right now as a girlfriend. You're gonna miss it if you're just, when is my ring? So I mean that's the goal, but if I'm so fixed on that, I'm gonna drive these people away. We're gonna drive people away. We're gonna miss out on our promotion because we're just, goodness gracious. So, surrender to the will of God, surrender to his timing, and don't get ahead of what he has you doing right now. Don't get ahead of this season. Have your goals, have your vision board, but don't be so preoccupied that you just miss it. And so I think that it's great, because now that I'm a master of social work, I'm confident. And when I was a bachelor, I didn't let anyone rush me to getting to this level. And I don't want anyone to rush me into getting my license. It's something that I may probably do, but if I get my license and I didn't take all of the lessons that God wanted me to get now, I'm not gonna be able to serve any family effectively, any community effectively, help anybody come together, change any policy. And just in case y'all didn't know, that's what social work is about. Changing policies, not just taking people's kids, but I can't do any of that effectively if right now, as a master of social work, I'm not just basking in and soaking up the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that God has given me for right now. And just everybody relax. Your promotion's gonna come, the man is gonna come, senior year is going to come, 8th grade promotion is going to come, grad school, prom, all of that is going to come. It's going to come, and when it comes, you wanna be ready. You wanna be confident, you wanna trust God, you wanna be in a place where you're completely serving him, and to be able to serve his people ultimately.